Hey everybody, CB Cebulski here, and welcome back for another episode of Three Course Comics. Today, editors Mike Martz and Katie Kubert, along with superstar artist Adam Kubert, will be joining us for a dinner themed around everybody's favorite triple clawed mutant. So I'm lucky enough to have a job that takes me around the world, and last week I was in Jakarta, and what I noticed is they eat a lot of the food on skewers. So I use that as inspiration for tonight's dinner. Today I decided to do something a little different. Wolverine, he's Canadian. He's from up north. So why not change it up a bit? We're gonna do venison. Went to my butcher, got a nice piece of deer meat. Gonna season this up simply, throw it on the grill. Basically, as we're doing skewers, we have to cut these into bite-sized pieces, which will be perfect when we put them on the skewer and then throw them on the grill. You know, venison's a meat that has a lot of natural flavor. We don't want to really change that. We want to let it really shine through after we grill it. So all you really need when you cook venison is just do it up with a little salt and pepper. Today's second skewer is going to be lamb. Lamb is a little bit tougher than venison. It's a little harder to cut. It takes the seasoning a little bit harder. So what we're going to do is just get a normal mixing bowl, toss in your lamb. All you really need in this one, a little olive oil, put in a little garlic salt, and then you toss on a nice dash of cumin. Not too much. It is a very powerful spice. You don't want to overwhelm the meat. You want to enhance it. What you want to do is mix up all the spices on the lamb evenly. You really want to let the spices sink in overnight. All you really got to do, take the bowl, put some saran wrap over it, put it in the fridge, let it sit. Tomorrow it'll be perfect, flavorful, and it's going to melt in your mouth. All right, for the third skewer today, we're going with America's favorite meat, which isn't beef, it's actually chicken. With chicken, we're just going to do it very simply as well. Cut your chicken into bite-sized pieces. I am using chicken thigh. It's a little more tender, a little more juicy, and it keeps the heat a little bit better. Take a little bit of garlic, maybe about 1 clove that you pre-chopped. Now I'm going to use sesame oil. And then throw in your chicken. Just mix it so all the chicken is evenly coated. All right, true believers, it's time to start making the skewers. Now, a little trivia question. What's the sound of Wolverine's claws popping? Come on, come on. Snicked! There you go, that's right. So, what we're gonna do now is start our snicked skewers. As you saw earlier, we're gonna use wooden skewers to cook our meat. Unfortunately, they do not come in adamantium. What we're gonna do is, real simple. You have the meat that we already cut and we marinated. It's just go time. You wanna evenly space the meat on the skewers. Wolverine has skewered a villain or two in his day. You should leave about 2 or 3 inches at the end because that's where you're gonna put it on the grill and use it to turn. Using a nice hot flat iron grill on top of my gas stove. Heat it up nicely, oil down a bit, throw the skewers right on. These you can leave on probably for about 4 to 5 minutes each. It's really, you're gonna judge it by eye just like you would anything you put on your backyard barbecue. All right, we're about ready to eat actually. Hey guys, thanks for waiting. I know your tummies are rumbling, so let me serve the first course here. So, let me tell you a little bit about the first course. You have 3 different types of meat here. I figured it's Wolverine, he's a meat eater, likes game, likes all different kinds of stuff. So, on the left, you have a lamb skewer, which has been marinated in cumin and olive oil. In the middle, you have venison, which is just straight oil and pepper. And on the right, you have chicken that's been marinated in sesame oil and garlic. And dig in. I hope you enjoy.
Beautiful.
This was amazing. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. So obviously we're here to talk about Wolverine. I mean, here's a classic character. He's been around for, 40 years. He starred thousands of comic books, a successful movie franchise, and you end his life. What's up? What was this decision that went about into that?
It got your attention though, didn't it?
It did.
In Marvel Comics, it always comes down to the story. And we're not going to venture into anything so daring and risky like that if the story isn't there. It was a story which was talked about for, 1, 2, 3 creative summits. And, finally the story was there and it was time to tell it. So it was all about the story, really.
And a lot of people treat a lot of characters so preciously that they think, oh, they're immune or they can never die. And that was something that we wanted to explore here and say, no, this is not this precious being that can't die, that can't have a human experience.
Yeah, a lot of people thought Wolverine could die.
Exactly.
Adamantium claws, healing factor. I mean, I think if I recall correctly, there were a lot of steps that led up to the actual death. It wasn't just something that you threw out a miniseries and it was done. This was a
No.
couple-year build-up. I mean, it was no small task. Was it like a guessing game? Like, did you sit around in a retreat or in a meeting with Charles and be like, well, how about we kill him this way? Oh, we can't because he'll survive this way. Was it almost like, if we kill him this, if we do this, he could still survive if he does this? Did you have to find the ultimate way to kill him with finality? you know?
Yes. It was a lot of thought and discussion went into this particular series, and especially when we talked about the death moment, we wanted it to be significant. We wanted it to matter. We wanted it to be relevant to Wolverine as a character. Most of that death moment came from Charles. Charles really just he thought long and hard about it. He came up with the idea. It was one of those things where the script comes in and the editors read it, and we're sitting there silent reading it, and you get to that moment, you're like he nailed it.
Explicative,
Exactly.
we can't
He
say
nailed
on Marvel.com.
And amazing. It was one of those moments like, there's a few times where we read scripts and like we come to each other and we're like, did you like almost cry when you were reading that script? And like, yeah, and that was one of those moments.
And I know there's so many, not just fans, but writers and artists who are sad that they're not going to be able to write and draw the character anymore.
It's
now,
true.
Adam,
I was going to say the biggest problem with that story is I didn't get to draw it.
but you've drawn Wolverine on numerous occasions, from him in his own series to in X to many of the events. And now he's not in Access. You're not able to draw him.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. But I mean, right before that, I drew Origin 2.
Yep.
Plenty of Wolverine, a very unique take on the Wolverine character, following Andy's book in Origin 1. It was a blast. It was absolute blast. But
It looked it.
What was it like working with Kieran on Origin 2? How was Kieran as a writer, Kieran Gillen?
it was really terrific. When he turned in the first story and I read, basically it was Wolverine and a pack of wolves in the, up in the north in the snow, and the graphic representation of that story, red, blood on snow with a big giant polar bear. I mean, you read the cliff notes of it and you think, oh, okay, so it's not a big deal. But the way Kieran wrote it and put it together and crafted the story, the way Frank Martin colored it, it was really, I was proud to be part of that.
Sometimes
The readers expect us to take these crazy, daring chances with the characters. If we don't, we're not delivering on our promise to tell the best stories we could possibly tell. So telling a story like this, where we actually kill arguably the most popular character in Marvel Comics, if we don't do that, if we're not taking that chance, we're not doing our readers, we're not doing for them what we promised we would do for them, which is deliver the best possible story and to take chances with the characters and to do daring things.
we wouldn't be around. It would have
Right.
been over. 50 years ago, people would have given up. But here, like you said, with the chances we take, it's what keeps the readers coming back to Marvel.
Yeah, you got to make your own history. You can't depend on what's been gone on before. To take this big a chance with that character is, it's amazing, and it writes future stories.
That's actually, that level of storytelling and the amount of planning that went into the story is something that not only going in that we were working on, but also coming out of the story. I mean, what do you do once one of the main characters is dead?
Yeah.
What do we do from there? How do we continue to tell these amazing stories without, a marquee character like that?
Yeah. So everything's all right for now.
Oh, this is delicious, CB.
This-
Do you think Logan would have eaten with a fork, or would he just just...
Spirited.
Yeah.
I don't think he would even cook in the kitchen. We were just over an open fire, killed it himself, butchered it with his claws, and gone to town.
You're not supposed to go like this at all, are you? Is that the point? Somebody had to do it,
I
right?
hope that's on film.
Somebody had to do it.
You're the best there is at what you do.